Happy Sunday. War Child Warrior here. As you can see, it's a beautiful Sunday, early afternoon here. It's about 12 noon, maybe about 12:15 in the afternoon. I'm just walking this little dog, and I just wanted to talk about some things. One of the things I wanted to talk about was all the crime that we see, the rise in crime. Now we know the major cities like LA, Chicago, New York, New Orleans, San Francisco, big cities like this, Detroit, places where crime has already been a problem for many years. So places like that are used to it, but it has increased and it has gotten worse, and there has been more of it in areas like that because crime has been let go for so long. All it's had the choice to do is to increase naturally, gradually, the natural flow of things. It's not going to decrease. If someone, opens a floodgate, the water or the flood is not going to move backwards. It's only going to move forward. So the natural, course of things is that it's going to get worse or increase if there's nothing there to stop it or slow it down, right? So in cities like that, things have only gotten worse for the people there. And for the people that are living there or that did live there, a lot of them left. A lot of them said, nope, I can see this, and the cops are quitting or being fired, defund the police and yada, 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 right? So in places where police forces have dwindled down quite a bit, in those places, the crime has also increased because now they have half of a police force in that city or that town, right? So, and then the cops that are still there, right? They're not responding to certain calls. They're not going into certain neighborhoods. They're just not, because they don't want to. It's too dangerous. They don't get paid enough. They don't want to get labeled as, racist or bigoted or sexist, or, they don't want to be targeted like they have been for quite a while now. So they're just not even responding to certain calls anymore. So people naturally have decided, this place has become too dangerous. There's not enough cops. There's not enough fight against the crime anymore. I'm out of here. And then for the people that are still living there in these cities and towns, they have smartened up and have decided to arm themselves. And they've decided, well, look, if I'm going to stay here in this city, in this shithole, and have to deal with this, well, I'm going to get myself a tool, and I'm going to start blasting back at these motherfuckers. And there's no cops anymore anyway, so, crime is through the roof. They're getting away with all these crimes, so, I should be fine, right? Just doing what I do, protecting my house, right? Well, you may be right and you may be wrong, but the crime is definitely through the roof in a lot of these places now. And then in places where crime has not always been a problem, it's now becoming a problem, or has definitely, rooted itself in that town or city and is now a serious problem. And so let's talk about some of the crimes that we are seeing a lot more of, and some new crimes that have just started because of the situation around them. Because let's be honest, a lot of these people that were not criminals before are being forced to do things now that are considered crimes because of the situation around them. Because they can't go in here to do this or do that. And so now they are having to deal with all these new laws, new rules, and new mandates. And so, let's be honest, it's a problem. So let's talk about some of these crimes. There are people dressing up as FedEx, UPS, Amazon delivery workers, and when they go to deliver packages, they force their way into a person's apartment or house, and then they rob them, assault the person or family, usually, that is inside of the house or apartment, and then they leave with, packages, whatever goods they can get, whatever money they can get. And that's a crime that is happening now on a regular basis, daily, hourly, and it seems to be increasing. And so that's freaking people out a lot, and it should, because that's something that is fucking crazy. But that's happening. And then we have the train cars full of Amazon goods, right? That are being completely wiped out in a single night, being completely robbed, of every single box, package, envelope that is on the train car. Right, we've seen the pictures and the videos of the train tracks and the railways there in Los Angeles and all through the Southern California, right, through Long Beach and others, Orange County or whatever. And so, just littered with boxes and, packages, empty package, envelopes and things, just, completely littered to the point where the trains are just running over, inches thick piles of just rubble, boxes and envelopes. So that's a crime that's happening. So you may or may not be getting stuff in the mail because, not because there's no workers to receive or, go out and deliver at the post offices anymore, because that's a problem. But not even because of that, just because your package is getting robbed from the train before it even gets to the post office. So that, is something that's happening. Carjacking. People getting carjacked. That's an old crime that has been around for a while, but that seems to be increasing in certain cities, San Francisco especially. People getting carjacked at the stoplights, or at a stop sign, or, pulling into their driveway at their homes, getting ready to go right into their door, their homes, their front door. People are starting to come up right behind them as they put the key in the door, force their way into the house. Or right as they get out of the car, they, mug them, assault them or whatever, and then they take the car. And then your car's gone. And they, if they're smart, they take your cell phone so you can't make a call to the emergency, emergency, 911 or anything. Can't do it. So that's a crime that's happening. The smash and grabs or the bash and grabs, where you, are in a parking lot at Walmart or Fred Meyer or one of these big box stores, and, you're getting ready to unload or load your stuff into your trunk, and someone comes up behind you, punches you in the face, knocks you out or knocks you to the ground. Maybe they have brass knuckles or bear mace or one of those steel extendable batons, and then they, your trunk is open, so they take everything out. If you try to get up, they, keep you on the ground, or if you're knocked out, you ain't getting up, so that's a crime that's happening more and more. I mean, I'm hearing about stories of that happening almost every day now, at least every other day. So that's a big, scary crime that's happening. People at the ATMs going to get money out of their ATMs. Same kind of thing. They come up behind you, bam, take your money. Right as you withdraw it, or right as you put the card into there, they'll come up behind you and stick a gun in your back and tell you to enter your code and pull this much money out, and then, they hit you and take your money. These are things that are being reported. These are things that are happening in cities all over the country right now. I'm just saying. Okay? So, yeah. Crime right now in certain places are through the roof. and people are really finding out. That's the thing. People that live in areas where this doesn't happen, or even if you live in a city that crime is kind of bad, but you've never had a personal experience with anything like this, and so some of these people think, oh well, I've been good so far. I should be good, as long as I, act like a little feeble old woman and I'm sick and I can't defend myself. Who would hurt a poor old woman that is defenseless, And I agree. Some sick, twisted fuck bastard is the only kind of person that would do that, right? But let's be honest. There's a lot of sick, twisted fuck bastards running around right now that would, yes, definitely say, yeah, a little tiny old lady like that who is sick and feeble and can't defend herself, perfect target, perfect victim. I could come up behind her, take her purse and her wallet and everything she's got, her groceries, or whatever. There's people that are doing these kind of things right now, and there's people that think that because that they can play the victim really well, or they are old and feeble, that they are in the safe zone or something, that well, no one's going to pick on me, I'm an old person. And for the most part, I would say, yeah, you're right. There's because, for the most part, most of us are, we have morals, we have humanity, we know what is right and wrong inherently. We like to take care of our old folks and our elderly, not harm them, right? Okay, so for the most part, most of us think this way. But there's a good, small little portion of us that are sick, twisted fucks that like to take advantage of old people, steal their Social Security checks and abuse them in old folks' homes. I've heard stories of, rape and all kinds of sick, twisted shit, and it's fucked up. But there are people out there that do this kind of shit, and they would have no problem and no issue, no qualms, no quarrel, no moral issue with themselves about doing anything like that. So for those people, I would say, listen, just because you've been good so far doesn't mean you always will be. And the same thing goes for all the people that are saying that there's no problem at the grocery stores, that they're not seeing any shortages, their store is fine and fully stocked. What are you people talking about? So for those people, I would say the same thing. You go into one store, one place that's doing all right, not doing too bad, is fairly stocked, and you think that every place is doing just the same. You think that every place is doing just fine, no issues here, they're getting their weekly deliveries as scheduled, and there's no problem. And so we're all just a bunch of conspiracy theorists and a bunch of loony bins walking around spreading fear because, this person saw fully stocked shelves and don't know what the fuck we're talking about. Well, for those people, I say the same thing, Just because that one store is doing all right doesn't mean every other store around it or in that town or city that you live in is doing all right. Go to some other places. See some other stores. Don't judge everything based on one store. You don't always judge a person based on one meeting with them. They might be having an off day or something. And so you can't necessarily just judge a person or a thing off of one, situation or one meeting or one view or one, you've got to do some footwork. You've got to go around and see what's what and what the real deal is. You got to see what the theme is, what the trend is, and you can't just base it all on one. And a lot of people do this, and that's why I'm saying, listen, be vigilant, be vigilant. I said vigilant. No, I haven't been drinking this morning or smoking anything this morning. I just had a brain fart. But Yeah, that's the thing. We have to always keep improving ourselves and our situation. So, just because nothing is happening yet or nothing is happening right now doesn't mean that I'm not going to keep stocking up my bug out bag or keep, rotating my gear and my equipment, my preps and stuff. I keep doing that anyway, just so that way when it does, if and when it does, there's always something there to help me in and out of whatever situation I need to, get into or out of. Um, and so, that's the same thing that goes with for all these people that live in these areas where crime right now is just exploding. Be careful. I, want to convey that, you know, if you've already taken security measures, you know, um, check on them frequently. Make sure that they still work. Make sure that they're still effective. Look up and research new ways that you can secure your place or yourself. Always, keep your mind, your eyes, and your ears open for new ways to improve any situation, anything. Because right now, crime is everywhere. Everyone is looking at everybody else like a Thanksgiving turkey, and they haven't eaten for a month. And they're just drooling and waiting for an opportunity to present itself to where they can overcome and somehow gain something or get something. So, when you get in and out of your car at these parking lots or in front of your house, look around. Make sure that everything is okay first before you start entering your home. Make sure you got your keys already in your hand. You know, make sure you've got some kind of weapon on you. If you can't or don't have a tool that is metal and fires things from them, you know what I'm talking about. If you can't or don't have one of those, have a blade. Have those little wooden tire pressures that truckers use to check the pressure in their tires. Those are good little bats that you can use to conk somebody on the head if you have to, or in the face, or out in the hand or arm, or in the leg or knee, or, right across the jaw, right there across the face, So get one of those, get some bear mace, get something that you can use, a metal bar, go to a junkyard and just find some, things that you can, jimmy up into making, into some rigged up weapons, if you got to, these days, I think you just need to be careful because, crime is going up. Everybody is looking at somebody for something, what can I get from that person? Well, they got a lot of this, they got a lot of that, they got enough. It looks like they could use, they have enough to what is it, expense to somebody else. They got enough, right? That's the attitude right now. Everybody thinks, well, they've got enough, let's take some from them, So please, just be careful. Crime right now is fucking exploding. I've said that a lot in this video, but I'm just seeing a lot of stuff, a lot of bad things happening to a lot of people. Houses getting set on fire. Innocent little girls getting shot by stray bullets. People sleeping in their car because they are living out of their car and they get robbed. The windows get bashed out. The stuff gets stolen. The person gets dragged out of the car and the car gets stolen. All this stuff is happening. Assaults on little old ladies, it's happening. So just be careful, man. If you're a little old lady, get something. Get some brass knuckles. Have something in your purse, Carry a Bowie knife. Wouldn't that be funny? A little old lady pulls out a big ass Bowie knife. That'd be fucking awesome. But I'm just saying, do something to help protect yourselves more these days and be careful. Head on a swivel, eyes and ears open, situational awareness, all that kind of stuff. Surroundings, I can, I'm making sure that I'm, secure, you know? So, all right, guys, I'm going to cut it here. Have a nice Sunday afternoon. I love you guys. I appreciate all of you. This has been War Child Warrior. You know, stay safe, stay free, keep God in your hearts. All right? Godspeed to you all.